All right, Shalom. We want to first start off giving all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruchakodash.
We want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruchakodash, and peace and blessings onto the elect. All right. So Lord willing, we're gonna go get into a short live show and just roll in the spirit. So we're gonna get straight into it. Any brother got an opening scripture they want to bring out or statement? Bring it out.
Okay, I just want to give Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4 about Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of it that followed it. All right, the Esau, we know according to the scriptures, you so-called white people, and Jacob represent the Israelites. All right, as we can see, the times that we are in, and according to prophecy, filtering everything that we see in the world according to the prophecies that's written in this book, we understand that our adversary, our enemy, Esau, is being taken down by the Most High slowly and methodically, man. All right, and that's the time we in, man. Esau, our enemy, is being brought down, man, and it's a beautiful sight, man. His economy, all right, with his money system is trash. All right, he is in heavy debt. These other nations despise this place. All right, and the prophecies are coming to pass, man.
Right.
So I did this real quick. This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 2. I started at 1. It's Malachi 1 and 1. The burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said Yahweh, yet I love Jacob. And yet the Most High loved Jacob, which represent you Israelites, all right? Which the Israelite consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, now brothers and sisters that scatter across the four corners of the earth. But their father's seed line, their father's sperm line goes back into being Israelite, man. All right, and our people will ask that same and similar question today. How does the Most High love us when we go catching all this hell? All right, but the scripture will explain, man. All right, it says, I have hated Esau. It said, I have hated Esau, and I have laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, right? So it said, I have loved Jacob. And how has the Most High loved Jacob or the Israelites? By giving us his covenant, by giving us his law, statutes, and commandments, man. All right, which join us to our power. And that only, the covenants was only given to the Israelites, man. That's how the Most High showed us that he loved us, man. All right? And he hated Esau by laying his mountain and his heritage desolate, all right? In the time of what? The Roman Empire was taken down, the Greek Empire was taken down, the Roman Empire was taken down, all right? I continue. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And Esau was impoverished at a point in time, man. During the time of what they call the Byzantine Empire or the Dark Ages, Esau was impoverished, man. He was in the cave, in the mountains, in the caves of the mountains, doing terrible, man. All right, over there in Petra, in Georgia, Russia, all right, over there in the mountains, he was doing bad, man. All right.
Well, when they wasn't doing bad, when they was in, but that's
Petra.
Mount Seir.
Right. Petra, Mount Seir. So
Right.
you're right. Right.
You know.
Right.
But you even got the time where before the Greek Empire was established, you know, we read in First Maccabees, we read about Philip of Macedonia and Alexander the Great and his 4 generals that succeeded him in rulership and taking the power seat. They were impoverished. They was at a low state. Okay. Because if you read Job
30.
Yeah, Job 30, that was a period of time where the dark nations pushed them up into the mountains, and they was living in that. They was in that condition of that animalistic state, you know. And the Most High, to show you the power of the Most High, he took them from that and raised them up with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to rule the Greek Empire. That was one period of time, and then like you going into he was impoverished during the time of the Middle Ages. After the Roman Empire was the pagan Roman Empire was destroyed, overtaken. You got it?
Oh, that Daniel 4:17, just because you said how the power of the Most High, he could take a base man like Esau and set him up in the power.
That's right.
It's Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and a demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men, like the elder just said. Esau was in that lower state, and that's just the power of the Most High. He didn't do this on his own. The Most High put him in this position just to show his power, for the time of the end when the wicked be destroyed.
I'm going to finish the Malachi. This is Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the Most High did allow them to build, man. Just like the brother, the scripture the brother just brought out. The Most High set up one, and he bring it down one, man. All right? The Edomites in the time that we living in today, the Most High set them up in this great power that they are in today, man. All right? But the Most High will throw down, man. And that's the time we living in today. All right? They built up in the time of the Renaissance period.
Right.
All right? They built up their cities. They came to Europe, took over Europe. All right? And now they ain't took over the whole planet Earth, man. They ain't built up their empire. But the Most High is getting ready to throw this place down, man, forever.
And I say this, Europe was already built up when they came in. That was just the starting point of them coming in back into power.
Right.
From the pagan Roman Empire.
Right.
But then they came over to the Western Hemisphere of the world and definitely started turning this place into a side of the world into a concrete jungle, especially here in America.
Right.
Building up his empire, and it goes beyond just actual building,
Right.
Building up infrastructure, so to speak. What you got?
This is like the brother Python just said, he raised you up just so he can destroy you. This is Romans 9:17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, and if you go before this, Apostle Paul, he was going into Jacob and Esau. They said, Esau have I hated, man. I'm just getting like the brother just read. This Romans 9:11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand. And those children of Jacob and Esau. It says, not according of works, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid. For he said to Moses, now he brought up Moses for a reason after just finished bringing up Jacob and Esau. For he said, for Moses I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. Is the point. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I may show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. You see, so just like Pharaoh was raised up, and the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart just to destroy him, the same thing with Esau. The Most High raised the nation of Edom up with pride just so he can destroy them, man, for the greatest destruction, the last destruction of the heathens,
So that what? So that his name can be glorified in the earth, just like during the time of when he took down the Egyptian kingdom. Okay? That showed the power, that great, vast, powerful kingdom was taken down. They knew only a great power could have done this, and that power was Yahweh. So same thing with the so-called white men ruling, which are the new Egyptians. Okay? All right? Go ahead, brother.
This is Book of Sirach, chapter 16 and 15. The Lord hardened Pharaoh that he should not know him, that his powerful works might be known to the world. Just going hand in hand with the brother was just saying, man, that the Most High set up these different rulers throughout time, man. All the different rulers, when you go through Daniel chapter 10, chapter 2, you read about these different leaders. The Most High set them up and took them down, man. And every time his name was magnified, man. And that's about to have
kingdoms.
Different kingdoms, Salakia, the water. And that's what's about to happen now, because this is the pinnacle now. This is the height of wickedness for a kingdom, man. All right, and the whole world now is under complete rule of Esau now. So it's even gonna be a greater destruction when it comes down, because not only Esau, but all the other rulers of the earth are gonna be taken down as well.
Yep. And they tell you when Babylon, and you read Revelation 18, it said that the nations, when they see the smoke going up, that's gonna come from thermonuclear destruction, total destruction that's gonna take place right here in America. You know, when they see that, they say they're gonna wail, they're gonna weep. Why? Because they're not gonna be able to make money. So really, when America is destroyed, the world's gonna go to shit. But when America is destroyed, our kingdom is gonna be set up. You know.
It's crazy when you think about it, because in that Romans 9 it said, talking about Jacob and Esau, and like it said, Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of that follow. When he take down this next Pharaoh, Esau, then Jacob, we gonna rule after that next destruction.
Yeah.
That was pretty scripture. It's Book of Psalm.
And I'll say this, Revelation 11 and 8. It tell you that this great city was spiritually Sodom and Egypt.
Right.
You know? Go ahead,
It's Book of Psalm, chapter 75 and verse 7. It says, but Yahweh is the judge. He put it down one and set it up another. All right, and now it's time for the Most High. He's about to set up one that's profitable, like you read in Sirach chapter 10. He's about to set up one that's profitable for the earth, which is Yahweh Shai to rule, man. All right, and who is he ruling? Gonna rule? He's gonna rule the earth with us under, man. That's joint heirs. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Was you finishing Malachi?
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, go back to that.
It's Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Yep. So the Most High is going, all this building that this so-called white man done, and I focus on America, it's going to be just taken down, destroyed in 1 hour. All right? Where's that scripture at? I don't know. We ain't got to get it, but I know it's in the book of Revelation. And I watched that video that the apostle Tahar put up about the ex-banker that was now basically homeless in poverty, and that led me on basically on a mission, looking up different videos of these Edomites all over America that are going through the same shit that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been going through for the past 500 years. Okay? That's a sign, that's a great indicator that this place is going down. The so-called white man, you supposed to be in this your heaven.
Yeah, this your heaven.
Even the average so-called white person, which is an Edomite,
Right.
okay, this supposed to be your kingdom, and you going through poverty
Right.
in your kingdom, you know.
That remind me of not Proverbs, but Deuteronomy 30 and 7 about the curses of our
Right.
enemies to starting to come upon them.
Yep.
That's a sign of the Most High bringing our enemies down.
And how these curses coming upon them because of what you was mentioning that when earlier when you were speaking through this economy, this failing economy.
Right.
That's the main reason right there.
Right.
Because what happened? They lost. These people were college graduates.
Right.
Some of them had 2 degrees, different type of degrees, whether it was a master's, a doctorate, or a bachelor, whatever. You know, Edomites. You know, and they all was living a middle class, you know, type of lifestyle, you know. And now that majority of them, a lot of them, a lot of these cases you read, you'll see was happening on the west coast of the United States, you know. And these people are now one paycheck away from being homeless or living in a shelter. They got one little old room, you know, and they in soup kitchens. And they're standing in a line and waiting to get a bowl of soup, you know.
That mean they didn't exhausted all their options, man. They don't have no family to go to bail them out. They didn't went through all the loans they could get. They didn't exhausted all their options. Now they assed out, man.
And it show you that the American people, they don't got no savings, you know. These was people that was working, that was, you know, they probably was paying off student loans, shit, probably couldn't get no damn loan. But you get laid off, you go, like that one, I don't know, the Edomite, the ex-banker, he said, well, you know, I ran through my unemployment, I stopped getting unemployment. He said, I went into my 401k, I ran through that, shit, now I'm on my ass. He didn't have no savings that could get him through a year or so, you know? And why is because the dollar has very little purchasing power. It take a lot of Federal Reserve notes, whether you swiping the card or whatever, to pay for goods and services. Okay? Yeah, whatever you have to.
If I may add real quick, and that was a sign that was taking place in Rome as well, as an example of the Roman Empire being brought down. The Roman denarius was being devalued.
Right.
And before their kingdom was taken down or overtaken by Jake, you know, they was going through economic problems, man.
Right.
The same thing America is going through, economic problems. And, the dollar is being devalued. What took $1 back in the 1920s, take $5 now. The dollar is being devalued.
Way more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just for
Now, you have to go and check, but yeah,
Right.
the number is crazy.
The numbers is crazy.
You know?
So what they was doing at the time of the beginning of the fall of Rome, as far as the economic structure, they was taking away the metals out of the coin, basically to take away the value. They wasn't putting as much as it was, and you seen that even today.
What they was doing, mixing inferior
Con.
metals
Yeah.
in with gold and silver.
Con.
I believe it was silver.
It was a silver
It was
currency.
silver. Right, and it was maybe, yeah, you can go and do your own research and look into it. They got videos on it and information on it, but basically it may have been only a small percentage of silver and then all these other inferior metals in the coins, in the denarius. Okay? So, that's how their money was devalued.
Yep. So you had to use more to purchase.
Right.
And that's what's happening exactly today, what the brother was speaking on, man. And you even look at pennies 15, 20 years ago, and you look at these brand new pennies, man, they like you don't even feel them in your hand. They
Yeah,
so
there's
like
no copper in them.
No. That's right.
And this is all due to a failing economy,
Right.
you know, which is all orchestrated really by the Most High, you know, ultimately by the Most High, but using the so-called white man to destroy itself.
Right.
And why the so-called Esau think he's so meticulous and he's setting up all these details to implement and establish his new world order, and all this shit is just gonna crumble before his eyes, backfire on him. He could get caught up in his own plans.
his pride had deceived him.
Y'all got something?
Like the brother Python quoted Deuteronomy 30:7, they starting to feel the curses that we've been going through for hundreds of years. You know, now it's coming up on them. This is Lamentations 1:21. It says, they have heard that I sighed, and this is talking about our enemies. They have heard that I sighed, there is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble, they are glad that thou hast done it. Just like it said in Revelation 11, they sung gifts to one another. They was happy to see us in the Lord's state, you know, because they mean they was on top of us, you know. But it says, all my enemies have heard of my trouble, they are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. So they will be in the same situation that we've been going through. All our curses that's been on us, it's gonna be put on them. It says, thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me. For all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. You know.
I was listening to one of these Edomites. I was watching this. I caught a couple of different interviews and documentaries of Edomites talking about how they in poverty, you know. And some of them could have been Jake, you know. Some of them could have been Jake, but most of them was Edomites. And one of the Edomites was like, the American dream is basically is bullshit. He said, this is my worst nightmare. He said, this has been my worst nightmare.
Yeah,
your heaven, your kingdom is a nightmare unto you. That show you this place is going down. What you about to say?
No, I'm just saying, I guarantee you he didn't always have that mentality. Like
Things was working for him at one point, you know.
Hey, you just drive through any major city, man, you seeing Esau is the one that's drug-ridden, out on the corner, strung out, begging for change, man.
Yeah, strung out on heroin and
crystal meth
and opioids. Yeah, some Edomites, that was another thing. They say the second main thing that was affecting some community up in Ohio, mainly Edomite community, okay, for lack of better words. It said the second thing that was affecting the community outside of no jobs was drugs. And they said a lot of them, they started off on prescription drugs and they got addicted to them. See?
And the more the hell grew on them, the stronger the drug they need.
Better believe it.
These pills ain't doing it no more. I need something stronger. Hey, but you see how, man, just by the Most High giving us the kingdom through the knowledge, man, hey, this is putting fear in Esau, man. To see these men coming out here, these Israelite men coming out in this boldness, as the scripture said, man, and speaking against my rulership, man, without fear. And he can't touch us, man. That put fear in Esau, man. Why? Because we coming in the true one and living power in his name, man. They not worried about like Jake trying to uplift Farrakhan because he got banned from certain social medias and internet avenues. And they lifting him up as he's this great man. And then, but what is this dude doing? He's steady quoting out of the scriptures, man. He's steady quoting out of the scriptures, man. So that's showing you that this is where the fear of Esau comes from. This comes from this book right here, man, which covers his downfall.
Y'all got something? I got something.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12. And I'm in verse 2. It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Really the third verse is the point on down to the fifth verse. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the keepers of the house are the international bankers, the elite. Okay? They're trembling because they see this great awakening of Israelites waking up to their nationality, waking up out of thinking that they're so-called Negro Latino or Native American. Okay, and it's not just happening in America; it's happening all over the world. You know,
So
as the said the scriptures.
So like, yeah, if I may add, that's the definition of economy, household management. So the keepers of the house are one that's that's controlling this empire.
Right. And they trembling. Like the main reason why they trembling is because, like the scriptures say in Revelation 12:12, they know it, but they know they got but a short time. And they seeing us we ain't only waking up child nationality, we waking up and telling them, look, you going down.
Right.
We your slaves and woke up, the ones you had in captivity, bugged out, now is woken up all around in America and all around the world, telling you that your kingdom is going down. And everything that we're saying it based upon the prophecies of the scriptures. Okay, and it's happening. And these devils is scared. It tells us that. Somebody get real quick. 2 Thessalonians 2, where it says it talks about the spirit of the Most High mouth. Get that verse.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
See, we consuming the so-called white man, his kingdom, his power structure. The Most High is I'm sorry, not we, but Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai is consuming the so-called white man, Esau, and his kingdom through the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. Us out teaching, we bring out the prophecies that Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. Okay? All your little New World Order plans will not, the fulfillment of it will not happen. It is going to get off the ground, and as Job, the 20th chapter say, as he is eating, the Most High is going to rain down upon him.
Right.
The missiles, because the missiles is the thermonuclear warheads is what's going to take this man out of his power, outside of Yahweh Shai and the angels, you know, and the elect.
Shit. And what she think is to be for his benefit.
All right, that what you done today? Now you ready to bring it up?
It's Second Thessalonians 2:8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Yep.
It said, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Yep. And we telling you that when this third world's war, and the east side of the elite know there's gonna be a war. Everybody know there's gonna. That was another thing I seen in regular Edomites, average Edomites, talking about there will be a third world war. You damn right, and it's not gonna be any old third world war. It's gonna be a nuclear third world war, a nuclear holocaust. Okay? And that's gonna take you, you know it's gonna happen, you setting it all up to happen,
Right.
and that's what's gonna be used to take your ass down.
Mm.
And it's written right here in the scriptures. So let me finish this in Ecclesiastes. It's Ecclesiastes 12:3. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, or they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. So these people, the average American, and we on these Edomites right now, they don't see no future in this place. They didn't have nothing good to say about Donald Trump, except that one of them damn shows, one of them night shows that got more interesting, it got more funny, became more funny.
SNL, brother, Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live, and they got more to talk about now. Shit to talk. That's the best thing that they can say about since Donald Trump has been president. What good has he? What has he done to help out? You know, to help the people.
Right.
And they ain't done shit, but drive people further into their depression,
Right.
drive them deeper into doing drugs.
Right.
Okay. And then people are still losing their jobs. Businesses are still shutting down.
God.
Right.
You know?
If I may
Shit,
add,
boy, at a higher rate.
if I may add, that's the sign of an economy collapse, man. All right, jobs filling. All right, the government is holding back on these different subsidies. Government benefits are starting to get shut down. This is all plans of Esau. He's trying to put more money into the economy by taking away government benefits. But nothing's going to work. The scriptures say that we would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Nothing you can do is going to prop up this American economy because it's just full of debt.
Right. And they cutting the subsidies to say that to cut the debt, basically.
Right.
We can't keep spending this money, putting out this money. But it's all bull. It don't matter what you do. This place is going down.
Nothing you can do.
You know? They're cutting these programs. All this shit really is geared towards the chip.
Right.
To collapse this and cause and allow the order, which is gonna cause, the chaos to come, which is gonna allow them to bring in the order. And the people are gonna demand order. We need order. We need a solution.
Order.
You know? Order out of chaos. Which the order is gonna be to take this chip. That's gonna solve these issues. You can get your subsidies back. You can get back to a normal way of living through taking this mark of the beast. You know. Now I got. Let me finish this fourth verse, or read it. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets." What's that talking about? These businesses, they're gonna be shutting down, as we see before our very eyes. Companies is filing Chapter 11. This business is shutting down. That business is shutting down. Okay? Employees are being laid off through these. When a business is shut down, employees are terminated or laid off.
Right.
It says, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
So when you rise up to the voice of the bird, there ain't gonna be no job for you to go
Right.
to.
And wake up and go to go to work. They not there.
Right.
Them jobs are not there.
Gates gonna be locked.
And that's
Right. Some people literally went to their job and was locked out of their job.
Man.
Meaning they couldn't get through the security gate, and they was being redirected somewhere to go get their unemployment package.
Right. Simple.
You know?
If I may
Yeah.
add-
Come on.
If I may add, when these different businesses go close or go bankrupt or shut down, that's all a domino effect. And these Americans don't have jobs, but if a country to start laying off people, then the people that was putting their money back into the economy to prop it up, to keep it going, they're no longer putting their money into the economy, so it's going to keep on decaying and deteriorating. And that's what's going on and happening in America, man. All right, nobody's putting their money back into the economy because there's no confidence in this system no more. People
Well,
is not sure of their job.
Let me say this, because really everybody is forced to put their money back into the economy. Because as soon as you get whatever crumbs you get, whether it's from the government subsidies or whether it's from a little job you got, you gotta once you get paid, you gotta give it right back.
Right.
Okay, so it's just understanding our monetary system. It's a credit-based system. So the government borrows money from the Federal Reserve. That's just point blank period. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So even if they was to balance the sheets and get the debt down to zero, our economy is based upon credit, to where they borrow money from the Fed.
Right.
So they're gonna have to, they bring the debt to zero, they still need billions of dollars to run this place. So that means we always gonna be in this, not we, Salakia, this system is always gonna be in debt. When you understand the how it works, you know, the basis of how it works. So this is all witchcraft. It's all smoke and mirrors, man.
Right.
You know, it really don't make no sense.
Right.
That's why this shit is falling, because this man has been playing these games, been like one of the Edomites said, I wish I had, he was a senator of a particular state, and he was speaking on the condition of the economy. I don't remember the name, I don't remember the state, of this particular senator, but he said the way that we run this economy, it doesn't even make basic account. It don't even meet basic accounting principles.
Right.
How they dealing in this economy.
Right.
And he brought out that this economy or the America is not 20 trillion. At that time, I believe he said in that video, he said 19 trillion because it's old. He said we more so closer to 200 trillion. Okay? And he said the way that they go about tallying up and dealing with the finances here in this country, it doesn't even make basic accounting principles sense. It doesn't make sense based upon accounting principles. Okay, you're supposed to balance the books, balance things out. But how good way of putting it so that we can all understand, because we're not economic experts, and you know, I know a little something, but basic things, but I don't know how to get all super deep into economic trends and all that. If you spending more than what you making, you gonna fall.
Right.
You gonna crumble. If you're only making $1,000 a month, or you make $2,000 a month, but your expenses is $4,000 a month, then you coming out in the red. You can't sustain like that, and that's what's going on with America. America spends more money or borrows more money from the Fed than it makes through what they call the GDP, the gross domestic product, which is how much money America makes out selling their raw materials and goods and shit around the world, and not just America, but all countries. Okay, so America, the spending bill is way bigger than what they bringing in. Okay, and that's why this place is going down. You know.
From like I said again,
No,
it's
say it,
everything
bro.
that happened to Rome. Rome was putting all their money into the military and all that. Their military was spread things.
We're close on that. No,
The same thing is happening with America. Just like happened in the ancient pagan Roman Empire.
Exactly.
They were putting all their money into the military and all this, but where was the income coming from, man? You can't sustain
Right.
an empire like that.
And that's why they was raising the taxes. And
Right.
that same thing is going on here. That's why interest rates is going up. Okay? When they print out, which is all digital, but when the Fed print up money, which is really digital, okay, it's interest on all that money that's being borrowed. So if $10 billion was borrowed from the Fed, that's how this system works, then it's interest on that $10 billion. Okay? And I believe for so many years they had the federal interest, or the interest rate on the Fed was at 0. Now I believe, and you can go and check this, you know, fact check this, I believe it's at 1 or 2, they starting to raise the interest rate. Okay, I'm talking about on the money that's the actual money that's printed or that's borrowed to dump into the economy. Okay, you know, going through the banks. So what does that mean? That means the interest on all things here in America is gonna have to go up.
Right.
And they gonna be in all these little titles of you gotta pay this fee and these little you gotta pay that fee. If those are just forms of taxes, a form of a way to get money out the people, you know. And like the brother was bringing out, that's what they did that back in Rome. They was raising, during the Roman Empire, they was raising up the taxes. That was a big reason why you had what you look up in history as the Roman Jewish wars. A lot of the reason why them wars took place was because of the taxes they was placing on us, the Israelites. Heavy taxes. And we was complaining about, shit, we can't pay all of the money that you asking, or the taxes that you asking, you know? Because that was us back then. The so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. What y'all got?
Habakkuk,
Yeah, we'll wrap it up on this Habakkuk.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. You want to start at 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
And I want to say something because that brother was saying something earlier. It really would be people. Now I know what you were saying. People are not able to go out and buy. Like for example, you know, I'll let y'all get back to us get back to the Habakkuk. People are not able to go out and buy like they used to because the retail market is shit. Okay, people are not going into these retail stores and buying. They can get it for a cheaper price through Amazon or some third-party company online. Okay, so really what that would be is a stimulation of the economy, having it to where the economy is stimulated, even though it's still going to be based upon debt. You know, you can't get around that. People are not going out and spending money like that. Their money is going to the bare necessities to live. You know.
Critical.
Right. I just wanted to say that because basically that's what you were saying.
Wow.
I want to bring that out. But y'all got
I was
something?
about to say, you got a glimpse of that just for that little short time for the government shutdown. Those Edomites, you know, they put on the image, but they were just one check away from in the same position we was in.
Straight up.
You know? And that's when they got exposed right there to show you, bro. And like the video you put in the group chat with the dude in California, he was saying it ain't no more middle class no more. You know, it's just super rich and everybody else just in one bracket.
And that middle class, people that's putting on that facade that everything is going okay, they really ain't swamped in debt and barely making it. But you see them in their car that they paying a note on. They paying mortgage. They barely able to keep the mortgage up. They looking for hours. They looking for supplemental income. You know, to stay afloat.
You had to let that golf club
Membership go. They've been gone a long time ago.
Had to sell
They
that
ain't been
boat.
let them go, bro.
They had to sell, and you seeing like they got a lot of apps now where you can go sell merchandise, sell used stuff that you have, man, whatever it may be, from A to Z. But then you see a lot of people, they go into that, like the brother was speaking on, is they can't go into these retail stores, so they have to refer to go buy old used things just to get the things that they can for the ones who even have that little extra money. And it's not even extra, they forcing themselves to, like you said, they just to try to keep a facade. They find any little way just to make it seem like they doing good, but they really struggling.
Right. When the holiday seasons come around, people not out buying like they used to.
No.
So that means if people don't have money, this is what you was explaining, brother. If people don't have money to go out into the stores and buy from somebody that's a business owner, then that business is gonna go down.
Exactly.
But they gotta, you paying your rent. You got enough to buy you a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk and a can of thing of peanut butter. And I'm being funny, but you got some of them can't even do that. That guy he had to hit the soup kitchen and get a bowl of or whatever the hell they had on the damn line.
Right.
You know?
America got a big foreclosure side of it. It's going out of business.
Yeah, it's because it's really a corporation.
It's a corporation.
And this corporation is bankrupt. It's broke.
The few people that's running this corporation is planning, is making this economy do what it's doing, man.
Right. They got all the money.
Right.
Yeah. All the gold shit, which is real money. Let's go back to that Habakkuk. You got it, right?
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
And Esau is the one that's doing that, man. Alright? But what's the main forefront of how he's doing is through America, man, which has acquired all this debt. And as we know, we're going to the word for thick clay in the Hebrew is abayat, man, which means heavy debt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the debt that's been accumulated, it cannot be made back, man. All right, and it's not intended to. First off, the Most High set it up for Esau to set this place up for this failure, man.
And when I say, just to add on to what you're saying, when you, where's the World Stock Exchange? Is it in these other countries?
No, it's
In New York.
DC, right?
Yes, it's up there in New York.
Yeah, Wall Street.
Right, yep.
The World Stock Exchange.
Yep.
You see? And America really using America, but really the bankers, you know, through the World Banks and the IMF.
Right,
That's
right.
they own that. They got the world in debt.
Right.
All these countries is in debt
Right.
Yep.
to the world, either the world, it's the World Bank, so I think it's two different World Banks, and then you got the IMF,
Right.
In every country.
you know? And they loan out, what do? They loan money to these nations with high-ass interest rates, and they can't pay the debt back.
No.
Right.
You see?
It's in
So everybody's in debt.
Yeah.
Cause it's not just gonna be it's not gonna be it's gonna be a world crash, like economic
Right.
crash.
International.
Not just international economic crash, not just an American. Cause once America crashed, that's gonna send a shockwave through the world, and everybody is gonna be affected.
For example, 2008, that didn't just hit America, that fucked up the whole world. A lot of people around the world lost their jobs during the 2008 economic collapse. You know, just for example.
Straight up. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that out just real quick, man. The brother B Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he left a comment. He said even the jobs is temporary now, man, and you seeing a high raise in that because Esau can't afford to be bringing anybody on and got to give them benefits and all these things that come with being a full-time employee. So they go into and outsourcing to these temporary agencies and just basically recycling men in the workforce, man.
Hiring expendables.
Yep.
Because if our company just so happen to take a dip, because this economy has been so unstable, so unstable, shit, and unpredictable. We know what's going on. It's a manipulation game from up top, okay? But these people, they don't know what the hell is going on. Oh, we don't know what's gonna happen. It's unpredictable. It's unstable. So they need expendable workers.
Mm-hmm. And you don't
That
have to
when-
get
while
it back.
things is rolling, we need you on. But if something happens, we need to be able to cut the cost before we go into laying off employees. We need to be able to cut the cost, so we need to be able to reduce the head count.
Right.
And if that ain't enough, then we'll go into layoffs. You know. Well, that's the pretty much it. You know, America is going down according to the scriptures, and we're gonna keep pushing that America will be destroyed, and the condition of America is only gonna get worse.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
more jobs are gonna be lost. More businesses are gonna go out of businesses. Out of business. A time of Jacob's trouble is coming. These things are gonna bring the time of Jacob's trouble, which is gonna bring the chip, by making it mandatory. It's gonna be mandatory for you to take the chip. What does mandatory mean? It doesn't mean that they're gonna force the chip down your throat, which really they are. But isn't it mandatory for you to have car insurance?
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't it mandatory for you to follow certain laws?
Right.
Laws, right?
Yeah.
Are everybody following them though?
Right.
No.
No.
Okay.
There'll be a penalty if you choose not to.
If you wanna, yeah, it definitely. Just like if Esau is gonna come like that. If you don't have this chip, you're gonna be penalized. If you wanna keep your job, if you wanna keep your health benefits, if you want your kid in this public school, you gotta have this chip.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be tied on all the elements of your livelihood is gonna be based upon you having that chip. And for the men of the Lord, the elect are gonna be living on faith and be taken care of by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
While this place is crumbling and falling, the elect is gonna be taken care of, man. You know, the elect of the nation of Israel. So with that, we hope this live show was edifying. And once again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit, and peace and blessings unto the elect.
Shalom.
And shalom.
Shalom.